So, Raya, what did you used to struggle with before starting this work?
To be completely honest, I struggled with an eating disorder for over a decade, and I was chronically dieting and chronically in this binge and restrict cycle. And I felt like I couldn't go out to eat with friends and family. Anytime there was a social thing happening, I would just anticipate that there was going to be food and just want to lock myself out. And it was a really lonely place.
I could really feel that in my heart. So, how has the work impacted you?
It's completely transformed the way I relate to food and the way that I relate to my body. It has allowed me to stop relying on diets to tell me what to eat, when to eat, how much to eat, what kind of food is okay or not okay, what rules I need to follow, and to finally, for the first time in my life, be present with my hunger and learn that I can eat whenever I get hungry, I can stop whenever I get full, and it's okay to stumble a little bit, and I can eat with friends and family. I can go out to dinner again, and a lot more freedom.
Yeah, I'm hearing a lot more trust, a lot more freedom, a lot more choice around, what you can and can't do. Is that true?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, it's like when I hear you talking about the rules, like it doesn't feel like you had any choice around what rules you had to follow.
Completely.
And then if you messed up on the rules, you had no choice but to punish yourself or to binge or whatever it was. So, I can feel that freedom. Thank you for sharing. And so, as you know, the methodology uses 3 steps. And so let's run through the 3 steps in an instant in which you would run into this and how you do it differently now. Does that sound good?
Yeah.
Okay, so step number 1, right, is recognize. So how do you recognize that you might be heading into the stress response where you're about to act out, either binging or restricting or something like that?
So for me, step 1 is I'm in the stress response. All of these thoughts are swarming in my head. I'm feeling anxiety. I'm feeling guilt potentially or shame. And yes, it's a very emotional state, very contracted state.
Step number 2, right, is you stop, right? You stop and you remind yourself that what you're thinking and feeling and wanting to do is actually distorted, right? It's the stress response that's putting the distortion in it. So what's that like for you?
So in step 2, I stop and I take a couple deep breaths and try to just calm my nervous system down and remind myself that whether the thoughts are telling me that I can't have this or I can't have that, or I'm too big and I need to change and no one's gonna love me if I eat too much right now, and I just remind myself that it's all not true.
God, those thoughts are so unkind, aren't they? And you will learn. We'll teach you more about why is the stress response telling you such unkind thoughts, but that's a pretty typical thing, right? It's really literally trying to make you fight, flight, or freeze, and it's trying to do it the best way that it can. So step number 3, right, the 3rd step is redirect, and that's when you shift, right? You redirect your habit from a false good habit to a feel good habit, bringing yourself back into the relaxation response. So what's that like for you?
So step 3 for me, my favorite feel good habit to choose is actually making this discomfort an opportunity for more connection rather than less connection. And I typically will call someone that I love and include them in this process and include them in what I'm going through. And to be received in that space and to have the opportunity to see how people actually see me, how loved I actually am, it just makes the distortion, just like a puff of smoke, disappear, and to get grounded and really connected to the reality of who I am to other people and my true sense of worth.
You've touched my heart really deeply, so much in these few minutes. Thank you. Anything else you want to add before we complete?
I'm just really grateful to this work for being able to relate to my hunger signals in a way of honor rather than fear and rejection, and to recognize that the sensation of fullness isn't something to be afraid of. It's a safe space now for me, and to feel more control around food. It's just such a blessing to feel like I can trust myself again.
Thank you so much. Whew. So remember, this work requires practice, right? Because we're literally changing the physiology of our brain. Every single time you make a different choice, you change your life. So keep practicing, share it with others. And thank you so much. And
Thank you.
have a wonderful day.